Alright, welcome back, arcade enthusiasts. We are looking at the next job in the queue. This looks to be a track and field from Konami. There's no standoffs, it doesn't look like. It looks like it's just got zip ties in here. It's got a zip tie there. It doesn't look like it's got any kind of standoff back there. And it's got a zip tie here with nothing else, so we'll put it on standoffs. Clip these, get these out of here, set the boards side by side, and go from there. So let me get my harness all out and connected up and everything, get these boards situated, and we'll be back to fire up, see what we get. Okay, I've got it out on the board and hooked up. This one hooks over here and this one hooks up over here, and it's trying to run. There it goes. It actually worked that time. Hypersports. Okay. I'm wondering if this is just purely a connection issue, maybe bad sockets, because it's running now, but it wasn't running before. It would get to... It's hard to say. It's really hard to say what this problem might be. I mean, this looks good. Okay. I'm just going to let this thing run a little while and see what happens. And this is, there it goes, see? Yeah. I don't think this is socket related. I think something is... I think something's flaky, but I don't know. It looks good. Well, that guy was in the air for quite some time. Alright, let's let it run through one more time and see if it's going to freeze up on us. Nope. Okay. Alright, well, I'm just going to monitor this, let it keep running and monitor it, and see if I see a pattern, or... So far it freezes on the weightlifting. That's the only time I've seen it freeze is on the weightlifting screen. So is that a pattern? It didn't freeze this time. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. So I'm just going to have to just monitor this thing, try to catch what it's doing, maybe play it. I got to test and see if there's sound and that kind of stuff too. So I'll be back. All right, I'm going through and I checked all of the software and all of the ROMs are good. No problem. But I did get to looking at this, and this is broken. This socket is broke. And this is a single side swipe socket, so I'm going to replace this socket because that's not good. That's not going to get a reliable contact on that pin, so I'm going to go ahead and replace this socket. Okay, I got my scope out and I've been looking around at this thing, and I was wrong on how this thing worked. I thought that this Z80, because this is how Gyrus is. Well, no, Gyrus has a Z80 on the sound and on the main board. This has just the Z80 here, and it has this Konami 1 processor that I replaced that socket. I was going at this thinking that the Z80 was running the program. This was handling the graphics, because this is just what I've known. Gyrus, the Konami 1, runs the sprite graphics and stuff, and the Z80 runs the program. So I was thinking, okay, this is, it's a Konami board, so it's probably set up the same way. So I was thinking, all right, I have a Z80 here that runs everything. I have Konami 1 running the graphics. And, there's no CPU over here, so I was like, okay, Konami 1 is going through the cables and it's, accessing and running everything over here. All right. And the Z80 is handling all of this board, including the sound. So I got the schematic out. First thing I did was I got the fluke out and I put the fluke on this, and I was getting a pod time out error. And I was like, okay, this isn't working. Something's not. And then I was like, why is this game running? And this CPU right now, if we look at the IRQ signal, it is stuck in an interrupt state. It's low. So I was like, how is this running? How is this thing running? Program cannot be executing if this is just stuck in interrupt. This is not the program CPU. This is sound CPU only. The Konami 1 is the processor that runs this board set. It runs the program and it does all of the processing for the video and everything. It dumps all of what is needed over here for this board to process the data or process the video and spit it out to the board or spit it out to the monitor. So the Konami 1 is the boss of this board set. This is a sub boss. So I was going at it wrong. So with that in mind, I got the schematic out, and that's obvious on the schematic as well. This is the Z80, and it has the 2 ROMs and the 2 RAMs. That's 2 ROMs, 2 RAMs. And this is the VLM 5030 sound chip, the same one that's in Punch-Out. That's running the sound. This is the speech ROM. So, yeah, then if you look at the Konami 1 on here, this is the Konami 1 chip, and there's all the program right there. So, program, Konami 1, Z80, sound. So, I got to looking at this guy, and I'm like probing around on this, and then pin 6 is the clock, and there's no clock. So I tracked that back to the crystal on this schematic. This is the crystal right here. It is a 14.3 megahertz, 14.32, if you will. And you see this LS04 at B3 pin 13 is where that crystal goes into. If I grab this, here's B3. Pin 13 is right here. And that is floating. There's nothing on there. There's nothing coming from that crystal. And here's the output. Floating. This crystal is not oscillating. That's the problem. This crystal's just bad, which is weird. I rarely see a crystal just go bad. This may be the first time I have ever seen an intact, like non-broken crystal actually bad. This one's not broke. It just doesn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of inspect this area, look at it a little closer, make sure it's not broken somehow, and then go from there. Just I don't think I have that frequency, so that's something I'll have to order. But I can put a 12. I'll put a 12 megahertz crystal in there just for testing purposes and stuff. So let me do that. I'll be back. Alright, I put a 12 megahertz crystal in the board. And that's not the problem. I've seen these chips go bad before. These EL74LS parts. That guy's bad. I'm gonna replace. Put this crystal back in the board. And replace this guy. That's the bad part. Okay, I got the original crystal back in. And the new chip right there. 74LS04. And we'll go ahead and I already coined up, so we'll start.
On your mark. Get set.
It seems to be working good. Sounds good. And I lost. And done. Nope. When am I going to end?
There.
Cool. Yeah, it seems to be good. Turn it down. Seems to be working just fine. So I'll go ahead and just let this thing run, and I'll play it occasionally. Yeah, I don't have controls for this, really. Not that I know of, so... Let me see if I can whip some controls up for this thing. Okay, so I pulled the pin out for this game, and the way it kind of boils down is you have, on this control panel, you have run 1 and run 2 buttons, and then a button in the middle called jump or up or whatever. So you got the two buttons that you smash, and then you hit this jump button when you want to jump or breathe for air when you're swimming or whatever. So the way that's mapped out on my thing is run 1 is up on my Atari joystick. Up is run 1, left is run 2, and right is jump. So I have to go up and left like crazy, or just up or whatever. And then like when I'm doing the swimming, when it tells me to breathe, I gotta hit to the right. So I'll go ahead and set the camera up and we'll play a game of this and see how terrible we do. But this thing has run for about 3.5 hours without resetting. So it's good to go. This thing is working just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a game and give it a try. Okay. Go ahead and coin up and see how terrible we do.
On your mark. Get set.
Oh, come on. This is impossible.
Time 1:34.30.
Not very good. Yeah. Not very good. But it's working just fine. Hyper Sports. So I will put this on standoffs. It doesn't have any standoffs with it. Remember, it just had zip ties. So I'll put proper standoffs on it and make sure those are good. I'll hook it up, put it together and hook it up the way that it would be in the game. So and test it out and make sure that everything's good to go. Be right back. Okie doke. We got some nice new 3/4 inch standoffs on the board. Here, 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 and here. Got the original connectors in it. It's powered on. And it works just fine. So let's go ahead and fire it up. Yep. So that is it. All right. That's going to do it for this one. So I verified all of the software. And it all
Time 2:10.0.
it all verifies to MAME. I'm going to turn it off. Just go ahead and turn it off. All of the chips verified to MAME. I replaced this socket because it was broke. This is the Z80 for the sound. I socketed it. Had a bad 74LS04 that was killing the whole sound processing circuit. And that was really it. Yep. Yep, this thing has already ran for over 3 hours, so it's good to go. It's already burnt tested, and now we got good standoffs on it. And it's tested, ready to go. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next Classic Arcade Repair. Bye for now.